Good morning, dear listeners. Today we continue our podcast series with part 2 of the law of cause and effect. So we already introduced this principle from the Kybalion, which is the second principle in the Kybalion, and also in my book, The 7 Laws of Reality and Being. And we now go into more details and depth. And like I mentioned in the first podcast of on the law of cause and effect, the most accurate explanation is found in the Buddhist Mahayana tradition, where we find all sorts of explanations regarding the ripening of different causes. So let's just begin with the most basic, which is the 3 general rules regarding the ripening of causes into results. There are 3 principles here. The first is the certainty of the result, which means that unless the causes meet an hindrance or are counteracted or are purified, these causes, or neutralize them, these causes will reap into an effect which can be positive, negative, or neutral, and it will be on the same nature and weight, and the result will never disappear in time until the right circumstances for its ripening present themselves. So connected to this is the fact that passing of time does not wear off any karmic cause, any cause. It can be a day or an eon, it doesn't matter. If there are circumstances allowed, the causes will ripen into an effect. Of course, infinite causes can be counteracted by infinite causes, so it's beyond our comprehension, which is why it seems that we are basically in everything happens by chance or fate, because the causes are infinite and we cannot pinpoint one cause, another cause, an effect, another effect. It's just impossible. So we can just basically guess and plant the causes that we want them to ripen into a certain effect. So let's go to the second rule, which is the increasing of the result depending on the motivation of the mind. So that means a small action can bear very large results because of the motivation and the energy intrinsic to that motivation, mental energy, the impulse. Then the third point is that if there is no cause coming from a certain action, there is no result. So it's impossible to have a result without a cause. Nothing can happen without a cause or a variety of causes. So not just one cause, but infinite causes can have ripen into one effect, and that can become a cause for the further ripening. So that's the basic, the 3 general basic rules. And then we have also the different ways how the different causes can mature into an effect. So the first is the straightforward effect of ripening. This is the experience of one's birth, aggregates, body, speech, mind, intelligence, environment, circumstances of family circumstances, or the being that you're born into. Like, it can be anything, whatever. This is basically the maturation of a set of causes that make you be born a being of a certain kind in a certain situation. Then there is the second, is the effect, which is in agreement with the cause, or is also called the effect of compatibility, which is basically this means that once the cause is mature into an effect, there will be a compulsion in every moment to do or think the same as the original cause. So basically, it means that the chain of causation it's infinite into the same effect, which becomes the same cause for another further effect. Then the third is cumulative, which means that's related to the environment and the circumstances of the field of experience that we experience, basically the various feelings of happiness, unhappiness, everything, and it's also connected to the cumulative causes of all the beings that share the same dimension. So basically, the human beings on Earth, they are sharing the same vision, and this vision is more or less according to the causes they have accumulated. So, a spider cannot see what a human sees, but also a human in one part of the world cannot experience a human in another part of the world, and so on. Then there is the fourth, which is the cumulative effect of ripening. That's the tendency to experience a situation which is similar to the situation you caused, to the same situation. So it's basically something happening back to you according to causes and conditions. Basically, you do something, you say something, and then at some point in the future, the same thing is said to you or spoken to you, done to you. Somebody's thinking something about you, the same you thought about some people, some other person. It doesn't have to be the same person. It can be anybody. It's just basically the cumulative effect of reaping. Then, as the last differentiation in this particular podcast I want to add is the differentiation between the throwing and the completing causes. So the throwing causes are the causes that throw you into a rebirth or into a birth. So these causes they throw you into a birth, and that's what you get. That's the body you get, that's the mind you get, that's the intelligence you get, and then the second is the completing, which means once you get that birth, then you have the circumstances of what kind of life you have. For example, you can be born as a dog, and that's the throwing. So the causes throw you into a birth as a particular being, but then as the particular beings, not all have the same life. So you can be a stray dog, or you can be the dog of a rich person, which nice food and everything, or you can be a human being, and also you can be a human being with certain circumstances, good or bad. So these are the last two. Then there are different degrees of the ripening, but we're going to talk about that in the next podcast, because there is quite a long list of this. So thank you very much for listening, and see you in the next podcast. Thank you for listening.